Hi, I'm Joe Gertis, and this is Coffee in the Capitol. Our guest today is Senator Elver Vogel, representing the 47th Senatorial District, serving parts of Beaver, Butler, and Lawrence counties. Senator Vogel is the chairman of the Agricultural and Rural Affairs Committee and also the vice chair of the important Senate Appropriations Committee. Senator, thank you for taking some time to join us today.
Sure. Thank you, Joe. Glad to be with you today.
Senator, you certainly know about PSATs and townships. Your history, you're a former supervisor in New Sewickley Township. I'm just wondering, how do you draw on that experience and your experience in local government and township government as you serve now as a state senator?
Well, Joe, I was asked to be on the Township Board of Supervisors because we only had one farmer on the board and he was retiring. So some other supervisors asked me as a farmer to be on the board. So we had a farmer still on the Board of Supervisors, 1 out of 5. So that was sort of kind of how I ended up being on the Board of Supervisors in the first place. But being on a supervisor, it taught me more about public speaking and interacting with the public. I mean, you have people calling you at home and stopping you in church about local issues. Well, now it's still the same, only it's on a grander scale because of a larger district. But that's part of it. But also the policy part of it. I mean, the policy part of it played in big. Obviously, PSATS has their convention where you come and you discuss policies statewide and you vote on them and things like that. And at the same time, I was president of the Farm Bureau, the Beaver Lawrence Farm Bureau. So Farm Bureau does their policy meeting in the fall. It's the same kind of thing. You bring your policies before the group, you vote on them up, down, you amend things. So that whole working with the policy sort of kind of got you in tune with passing legislation and working with people to do amendments to your legislation or whatever and stuff. So it all sort of kind of really was didn't know it at the time, but a very good lead up to being a senator and working with policy and passing legislation and working with other senators and House members and stuff to get legislation done.
Sure. And as you mentioned, being chairman of the Senate Agricultural and Rural Affairs Committee, pretty much everything we deal with is going to come through you at some point. There's so many issues that are out there that affect many of our townships. I mean, the length and breadth of Pennsylvania, as vast as we are, we certainly have a lot of agricultural land, the state's number one industry. We've got a lot of rural communities, all those issues that are out there right now that we're dealing with, solar and broadband, they're really coming through you. So what are some of your thoughts, moving forward that we're going to see coming up in the second half of this legislative session?
Obviously, the broadband issue you brought up is going to be huge. We have the federal money that needs to be spent, and Senator Phillips Hill has been working very hard with her committee and the Broadband Coalition to find ways to drive this funding out, because obviously, like you said, the rural communities across our state, but even in Beaver County, there's so many areas that aren't connected. And thank goodness our county commissioners have really stepped up and taken the initiative to get broadband into places where it isn't, because we found out during the pandemic, the breadth and scope of Pennsylvania that doesn't have adequate broadband and the impact it has on just people's lives, but the rural community, especially even farmers. I mean, so much of the stuff farmers do anymore is over the internet, selling produce and crops and things. So it's very imperative that we get something done seriously with this broadband issue and really trying to help Pennsylvanians as a whole in the rural communities step up and be able to come into the 21st century to have the access that their neighbors in town and the cities have.
One of the things that I've seen traveling the state is solar is coming. It's already here, but it's affecting agricultural land, and farmers are asked to invest in these large solar projects, and there's many implications, good and bad, that are out there, and something that we have to address. And I know you're at the forefront of it, and just wanted to see some of your thoughts on solar moving forward.
It's been something we've been discussing and talking with different senators, and several people have put out pieces of legislation as to how you do it and do it respectfully. Obviously, people have their land rights and they have the right to sell their land if they want to for solar panels, but at the same time, to try and preserve the good 1 and 2 soils, which are the most productive we have here in Lancaster County and York County in this area of the state, save those best soils to produce our crops on, trying to find ways to incentivize companies to use brownfield areas or strip mine areas or something like that, trying some kind of a incentive, a tax incentive, even if we have to go down that road.
One of the big things that comes up all the time is decommissioning. What's going to happen with these solar panels? They have a certain lifespan. They're getting better and more efficient, But there is a point where they have to be decommissioned, and what's going to happen with them?
The decommissioning thing is something that probably you and I won't have to worry about, but our kids and our grandkids and our other younger people will have to deal with. And if we don't set up some kind of system or a way to do this respectfully and with other people being able to pick up the cost, the solar companies being able to pick up, a lot of people are township and stuff are going to get stuck with a huge
That's right.
cost and a burden that's going to have to be picked up somehow with them. Like I said, it won't be you and I that has to worry about that, but obviously we don't want to leave this to our kids and grandkids as well to have to deal with. So you're right. Senator Yaw has been working very hard with this issue, and hopefully we can get it resolved.
Senator, this month is Farm Show month, and as I mentioned, agriculture being one of our top issues and industries in the Commonwealth. You're at the forefront of it. Can you give us some thoughts on how important it is to come together, every January?
People are so far removed, several generations removed from the farm. I mean, you and I might have had our grandparents or whatever that had a farm, or an aunt or uncle had a farm. You went to the farm in the summer or over Christmas break or something, but these people now anymore have no connection whatsoever. So them to being able to come to the farm show, see the cows, see the pigs, the chickens, all those kind of things, sort of kind of gives them a little bit of a in touch feeling with, hey, this is where agriculture is. This, it doesn't just show up on a grocery store shelf. So this is where it actually starts and begins. And these are the hard people that have to put the hard work in to get it to you that way. But just to showcasing agriculture as a whole in Pennsylvania and being able to have the public as a whole, like I said, several 100,000 people come to the farm show in a good week, and touching that many people and lives and kids and things like that. I mean, thousands of school kids come to the farm show, and even though they're there for a day of a school trip day or whatever, still they hopefully they get something out of it.
We look forward to seeing you at the farm show. Senator, very important question. What is your favorite farm show milkshake flavor? Do you have one?
I heard they got a new one this year, a sea salt or something like that, caramel sea salt.
Caramel, yes.
Caramel. Yeah, but I'm a dull and boring person. Vanilla is my favorite milkshake. Sorry.
No problem. I'll suspend my vote until I have the salted caramel.
Okay.
But Senator, that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for sharing some time with PSATs. We look forward to seeing you at the farm show and hopefully at our conference in April.
Thank you, sir. Good seeing you too. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you for joining us on Coffee in the Capitol this month. Remember, if you like what you're seeing, email tvn@psats.org. Also, be sure to subscribe to PSAT's YouTube channel. Hit the bell button for notifications, follow our social media pages, and head over to the TVN page at psats.org for more Township Video News content. As always, thanks for watching.